Okay, good day ma'am, good day everyone. So my topic is about the impact of British colonialism on South Asian literature. Objectives: to analyze the influence of British colonial rule on literary forms and languages in South Asia. Second, to explore themes of resistance, identity, and cultural hybridity in South Asian literature. Third is to understand the legacy of colonialism in post-colonial South Asian literature. So, the impact of British colonialism on South Asian literature. British colonial rule in South Asia, 1757 to 1947, significantly influenced the region's literature, shaping its themes, language, and form. This impact is evident in how traditional literary practices blended with Western ideas, creating new genres and fostering a complex narrative of resistance, adaptation, and identify formation. So British colonial rule in South Asia lasted from 1757 to 1947 and had a big effect on literature of the region. During this time, traditional South Asian writing mixed with Western ideas brought by the British. This blending led to the creation of new types of literature and changed how stories were told. Introduction of English language and literature. The British established English as a medium of instruction in South Asia, which led to the emergence of Indian English literature. Writers like Raha Rao, R. K. Narayan, and Mulk Raj Anand used English to explore themes of colonialism, identity, and social reforms. The exposure to Western literary traditions such as novel, the essay, and free verse poetry transformed traditional forms like epics, dramas, and folk stories. So, the British made English an important language for education in South Asia. So, ang British, nahimuan nilang ang importante ang English language for education in South Asia, which helped create a new type of literature. Mao ni sila ang mga writers. By writing in English, these authors could reach a wider audience and share experiences, idea. So by writing English is tungkol lagi kay ang English is broader na daghan na makasabot. So daghan na makabasa kay wider naman. So tanan man kay nakaibaw man sa English nga language. So next, themes and resistance and identity. The colonial experience became a central theme in South Asian literature. Writers use literature to critique colonial policies and highlight the struggles of the oppressed. So, the experience of colonialism became a main topic in South Asian literature. Writers used their stories to criticize the unfair rules of British and to show the hardship faced by the people who were oppressed. So, ang mga writers ani nga time is gamit nila ang stories nila para ilang maistorya nga unfair rules, mga unfair nga mga rules sa mga British o ilang isuwat ang mga hardship nila ilang giatubang sa panahon ani. So, next is Rabindranath Tagore ang author. Tagore's works, he criticized the dehumanizing effects of colonialism while emphasizing spiritual and cultural resilience. So, kani idang gisuwat is a negative effects of colonialism, showing how it took away people's humanity. He also focused on the strength of Indian culture and spirituality, encouraging people to stay connected to the roots despite the challenges of colonial rule. Bankim Chandra Chatterjee's Anandmat, this novel inspired anti-colonial movements with patriotic fervor and the hymn Vande Mataram. Next, the loss and revival of indigenous literary traditions. Colonialism disrupted traditional literary cultures by marginalizing local languages. Persian, Sanskrit, and regional vernaculars faced reduced prestige under British rule. However, colonial influence also inspired a revival of native languages. Hindu and Urdu prose and poetry flourished as writers sought to preserve cultural identity. Writers like Premchand used Hindi Urdu to depict the struggles of ordinary Indians during the colonial rule. So colonialism had changed traditional literary cultures by making local languages less important. Under British rule, languages like Persian, Sanskrit, and regional languages lost their status and prestige. However, this colonial influence also led to a revival of native languages. For example, Hindu and Urdu prose and poetry became very popular as writers to keep their cultural identity alive. Writers like Munshi Premchand used Hindi and Urdu to tell stories about everyday struggles of ordinary Indians during colonial times. So like kani si Munshi Premchand, ida gigamit ang Hindi and Urdu para ma-story para masuwat da ang story about sa ilang everyday nga struggle sa mga ordinary nga mga Indians during colonial times. And kani nga works is nagtabang nga para ma-highlight ang mga ilang mga challenges at na face sa mga tao during this and para ma-preserve ang rich cultural heritage of India. Next is hybrid and new perspectives. Colonialism led to the creation of hybrid literary forms that combines Western and South Asian traditions. The introduction of novel enabled writers to portray social and cultural changes in evolving South Asia. Historical like Chandrakanta by Devaki Nandan Khatri bridge the gap between tradition and modernity. Post-colonial refraction in literature. Even after independence, the legacy of colonialism continued to influence South Asian literature. Writers like Salman Rushdie, Arundhati Roy, and Amitabh Ghosh explore themes of historical memory, cultural hybridity, and the aftermath of partition. Rushdie's Midnight's Children is a notable example of post-colonial literature blending the magic realism with historical commentary. So even as South Asia gained independence, the effects of colonialism still shaped its culture. Writers such as Salman Rushdie, Arundhati Roy, and Amitabh Ghosh focus on important themes like remembering history, mixing different cultures and consequences of partition of India. For example, and Midnight Children, well-known piece of post-colonial literature. It combines elements of magic realism when magical events happen in a realistic setting, when commentary on historical events. Through this blend, Rushdie explores the complex identity and history of India after colonial rule, showing how the past continues to influence the present. Conclusion. British colonialism left a lasting mark on South Asian literature by introducing new forms, languages, and ideas while simultaneously disrupting traditional practices. South Asian writers adapted and resisted these influences, creating a body of literature that reflects a unique blend of Western and indigenous elements. Today, this literature continues to evolve, exploring these enduring effects of colonial history in contemporary South Asian identity and culture. And that would be all. Thank you.